as we get started within our very first map. It's going to be Brendan T'Challa over on Domination, and we already get started as the target bans are already out, banning the first thing, the Captain America.
Dreams, legacies, it's all here at risk, guys. One of these teams punching their ticket to China. We start things off in Wakanda. Me and Vicky did a lot of Wakanda yesterday. We've got some more for you, but yes, right away, the Crimson target ban played almost exclusively Captain Freedom. Captain America over there, they're going to ban that, get rid of that right away here with the Emma save. We've got in return the Human Torch ban, which is a little bit of a ban target or target ban there for Avery, who loves the flyers, opens up the airways there. Magneto save, love that for Techie. Again, he played that all yesterday here. And the next ban, is this going to be targeting those strategists? And again, that triple res.
Or are we going to see more of these target bans, as the torch is the next to go from both sides now? So no torch on the table, which I think it's been fantastic to see. How many torches were a problem last week? Now going into playoffs, a lot of teams being more familiar with the outcome of how other squads want to really work around this ban system, and no Psylocke on the table or the Emma Frost from the opposing team.
Yeah, we knew the Psylocke ban was coming out. Tap just too much of a demon on that crazy work that he can do, and we saw that match after match. So that ban coming in hot, and Emma Frost being banned on the other side, which honestly, I think at this point, Sentinels, they're used to not playing with Emma. They're not going to be playing with her here today. The Luna save, love that. Kurova, if he's not playing Adam, he has played a lot, so I think they are expecting the triple res ban here. Kurova at least gets Luna, so that's potentially what we get. They could have saved Adam or whatever, but then they could just ban Mantis or Star-Lord, so they're going to go with the Luna save.
If they go with the Luna save, though, that means that this kind of opened things up, you know. Oh, they don't go for this route. They actually pinpoint Punisher. All right, this also means that not only do we have Luna Snow on the table, yes, they could still try to run the triple res, but also, you know, Aramori is really good on that Loki. So, you know, that could be a Loki action from both of these teams.
I'm speechless, because not only is it not getting rid of triple res, but on Domination, where we've seen in the past that just triple res comp is so hard to win. You have to play so perfectly. You get one wipe, doesn't matter. They call a wipe a win. Born again, win again. You're going to hear these statements over and over with this team. And again, I think, you know what, stick to the game plan, tekixd, that, you know, they definitely have drawn up something here, but I am shocked we're not opening up with this zombie ban.
You know they're going to be able to run away with this too. Yeah, especially the way that, oh, how could we even forget to put the spotlight on the way that Nectar played yesterday? They were popping off on the Star-Lord. So this works together into this win condition that Sentinels always likes to lean on. But I'm interested because Team Techie, they obviously know this. So doing their homework after seeing what they've already did yesterday, going into this is something that they could have expected, especially on Domination.
Yeah, absolutely. Your Brute is going to be that Magneto. That Emma Blur is that Flex, done very well at that. It's Crimson hot on Captain America, Steve Rogers today. Guys, the lower bracket, teams faced eliminations. Now teams face the ability to punch their ticket again to the first ever lands. Making history will mean so much for these teams. We've seen confidence. We've seen a little bit of cockiness. We've seen tears, all of it in interviews. What they want for China, as we see y'all's predictions down below, and it's looking heavily towards Sentinels.
That's why it's so important here to take the dub in this series specifically. You're basically in the safe zone there. Once you proceed through that winner side of the bracket, not really scared of whatever is happening on that lower end, especially after the matches that we've seen thus far. Last two matches here of the day as we start off our match number 3 here. You saw the pick and bans now already coming out of the gates, and we're already starting off with some Doctor Strange portal play.
Here we go, opening things up. We have Aramori on the Cloak and Dagger for those staple heals. And we've got the triple res comp, and Crimson over to Strange. No Captain America going to the Master Magician himself, the Wizard of Kamar Taj here. As tekixd poking with early fire, but it's going to be Sentinels who kind of have the ground that they want to start things out.
And holding a good amount of that space here too in the front lines before Tap being on that Wolverine, looking for the opportunity. They did lose out on Avery very early on here. That's it for Brute too. So that big team fight win after that first pick going in favor for Sentinels to take the point.
Yeah, with the 1-2 from Amazing, and I gotta say, Mantis players often overlook because they split the healing and damage capabilities. No stats pop off. Really, Amazing though makes it happen. I've seen him yesterday, 20k healing, 20k damage. A good way to get things going.
Look at the way that they're holding up here, too. Feeling confident, just as the chat predictions came out, too. Forcing them just a little bit back, though, building into some of these ultimates. Tap manages to get away right on time here, too. These group walls are trying to block out their line of sight. Crimzo, though, gets called out by Tap, and that's going to be Techie now moving all the way forward with the rest of the team as Nectar is forced back.
Yeah, holding S now, no revive there, obviously, for Dr. Strange. We have used the Star-Lord revive, but not the other two here. Undefeatable coming out in perfect time with the Kidnap coming out and the slicing and dicing claws out. Nectar, though, trades with Ultron, getting him down. One less strategist to help the team out, but Brute taking out Amazing, who does have the passive. Can come back here. Legendary popping from the skies, and it's Vibe and Violence. Here it goes. Can he get something rolling? But Ad get a respawn with the Undefeatable.
Nectar with no emotion, by the way. I love these player chems that we have. Was able to put in so much pressure here with the group ult too. The group hug, rather, as Blur is trying to make magic happen for the rest of Techie. Then you have to consider the Ultra ultimate. That doesn't help out Blur. Amazing right there with the damage output. Amazing. Obviously, such a great Mantis. We saw the action and the flexibility from Sentinels before with Amazing. And it looks like the follow-ups are definitely there as Tap manages to skate by with another pick onto Aramori. That's two backliners now out from Sentinels.
Tap with a huge clutch hit there, and I love Blur. He looks like me playing just all the way in it here as Techie is going to get this point back from them. Techie's, the player Techie, his cam just pointing to the ceiling. I love these player cams. Check them out if you haven't already. Bottom right there. But yeah, great start and honestly a good finish up there from Techie to get things restarted. But that's going to allow Sentinel their passives to come back. Crimson switching to Clobber time, the New York Yankee himself here. And we're going to see how they differ their strategy going into the point.
Say it, say it. What time it is? What time is it? What time is it, Crimzo? You know what to do as they move in together. Amazing. Having the Soul Resurgence together with the Mantis as well before they try to push up. Nectar trying to get into a different opposition, trying to scout out the strategist from the backline of tekixd, and it is Clobber in time to open things up from the other side. Crimson does get stunned temporarily. The follow-up comes in right afterwards, and Wolfle with the Eternal Bond keeps the rest of the team alive. Amazing rallies up together, though, with the Soul Resurgence, and now it's going to be that 1v1 battle in the neutral here, not only throughout the healing, but they could also utilize these big walls just to get into some extra cover.
Great job surviving the 1-2 punch of the thing there. We've got Legendary coming from Nectar as he rains down. They're staggering their ults perfectly, though. Undefeatable up once again for Ad. What we like to see here, and at this point now, they've got to survive what's left coming for them. Aramori is going to have the response. Kurova there with the Born again. Things are looking good for them as Techie is going to now get the elimination. He's got the Meteor to follow. Will he use it? Yes, he does. Up goes the purple Meteor, and down it crashes. And does not get the connection, but he looks for the finish.
I always think it looks so entertaining when you get to hide the Meteor just a little bit by the lip of that one wall. Where is it going? Now you see it, now you don't. Still was able to get the collide here, and then the follow-up right afterwards to finish off that one pick. But time is of the essence for tekixd as they're forced to re-engage with the portal.
We have 3 ultimates ready to go. We've got the Berserker Rage, and that can do it all by itself. But Clobber time coming out. And Crypto says it's not Clobber time. It's closing time for this point as he gets 1, now 2 with the haymakers he's throwing in the ring as the thing does in Rivals and Sentinels. Looking promising to open up.
No rezzing here. You save that for the second round right now with the way that Sentinels have been playing. They'll come back again and again in this res comp too. And that was with Techie. They did win a fight there just to reclaim that point at one point. But Sentinels, they were able to come in together with so much to work with.
Love the flex over there into the thing. I think that was a great call for them, and you saw it really make the difference there. Looking at the stats, telling the story a bit. Obviously, Nectar doing great, picking up exactly where they left off yesterday. But amazing. 6K, almost 7K healing and 7K damage. 5 final elims to match. Only 2 eliminations. Look at the strategist barely going down here. Definitely seeing great work from the team.
Even on the other side, too. Strategists putting in the work, looking at Wolfles. We heard in the interview earlier that Wolfles just keeps getting away with it, but it's going to be difficult with Sentinels taking that first round alone, especially in a matchup like this. tekixd having some ultimates of their own to try to contest and take this point first, just to have that advantage. It really does come in clutch when it comes to staggering at the very end part of these type of rounds.
Yeah, I think it was Guru who said Wolfles has plot armor, and we've seen some of it in the playoffs so far here as the team, they jump in, they bring the fight to them, and right away we are off and rolling here as Crimso's throwing the magic, the whip, and the pop as he tries to get a fast elimination, but the choke and the throw there on Dr. Strange and the elim. Oh my gosh.
The Emma Frost special. The drop kick, trying to deny any sort of res, utilizing the psionic seduction. Gets out of the line of sight, is amazing just to start the re-engage with the Mantis Soul Resurgence instead. As Sentinels, they get to backtrack their way into claiming the point first. And now the survivability from Wolfos comes in with the Eternal Bond. Tap, though, has activated the Judgment as well. Final Judgment and the follow-up as tekixd gets to try to reclaim this point and mop the floor as Sentinels are forced to come back.
Oh my goodness, I felt that passion in my soul. I've got to say, I mean, we've seen Sentinels do that. They play very aggressive with the Born Again, right? Because they can go in there, they can turn that wipe into a win. And that time, though, Techie getting the job done. I said they had to play perfect. Well, they just did one fight that way.
They're doing a good job at keeping track at where the positioning of these reses could come from too, and that's Kurova not having that ultimate as well, but the re-engagement from obviously Amazing on that Mantis, as well as the Star-Lord as Nectar wants to try to open up here with the legendary Techie, having that Meteor ready to go, looking perhaps at Ad, who will have that Loki ult to copy the Eternal Bond off the Cloak and Dagger, and there you go right here too, but they've lost out on 2. Nectar with the 2K gets a huge cleanup, and that's also Avery and Blur going down without being able to utilize their own ultimates.
Yeah, unfortunately, just undecisiveness there from Ad, who was going to use their ult, wasn't sure, and then by the time he copied, 2 already went down, and that's brutal there, because not only did they lose the team fight, they lost the strategist ult, and that's going to be rough, because looking at Sentinels, they've got 3 locked and loaded, 30% on Nectar already. Blur looks like he's ready to go, and Avery, a little bit of a counter pick there for the Born Agains that happen. If you can find them fast enough, you can make that into another team wipe, but my goodness, Vicky, that was tough there for Techie. He looked like they were going on the snowball route to win the point.
And that was them trying to utilize those ultimates originally too, so a little bit expensive. They still have the Eye of Agamotto. It's clobbering time though, but Brute is trying to face up Crimzo in that straight 1v1. You know how difficult it is to deal with Emma Frost when you are on that thing. So nice counter pick here, counter play instead. And the Eye of Agamotto comes in. It's found Kurova, who will be able to get the res though, at the very least. Crimzo going down, Amazing can't come back. But once you are back, you can at least try to use the Mantis. But that's why Tap is on this Punisher, because it's so difficult to deal with the damage output here when you use that Final Judgment.
Wow, they are on it. This is why they allowed the triple res. They were confident in their duels to be able to clean up even after they get the initial eliminations. And we're just seeing pure confidence from this underdog team. They don't like being called underdogs, but face it, there is Cinderella story in the making. Right now, can have a chance to get the second point here in this domination map, Vicky. If we look at the ultimates, we've got Legendary cooked up, ready to go. And guess what? Wolfos, nothing to it. Ad does just now get that ult now to counter.
That's going to be big here. Brute with the Psionic Seduction could also try to deny the ultimate away from Nectar and Techie if they've been able to ult track properly here. Nearing 85% now in favor for Techie, as Sentinels now try to re-engage as well, just trying to poke from afar. Before trying to find this as Techie gets stunned temporarily, is forced to utilize that Magneto Bubble just on himself, but not on Nectar here, who tries to wrap around from the other side. They have the Eternal Bond from both sides, as Ad does use that. Got a miss it, and Techie being able to find Ad even bigger. The win condition in favor for Sentinels to reclaim this point.
Dunking the Galaxy right on top of their heads there. Techie, we saw this yesterday. He got some absolute clutch Meteor Imps, and we're seeing it yet again today. It's like the response is right there immediately. They handle the ultimate fight, and that's what's going to be all important to get these matchups here as they're pushing in on the offensive 71 to 99% at this point. Crimzo ready for the clobber in time and the follow-up here. No one else that close, though, as now Techie can go in with a Kraken impact into the eye. Look for the aggression from Blur here in the stretch just to keep them up, and they're going to go in with the Eternal Bond.
Oh, they know the way that they're backing away right now. The Eye of Agamotto has to go huge here, but first it's going to be opened up as Taps uses the final jump in the clobbering time to try to counter, as both Kurova and Amazing get sent down. That final judgment, Tap clearing out 5, clears up the entirety of Sentinels as the back half overtime taking away, and Sentinels need to try to stay alive to at least try to stagger in to contest.
He emptied the clip and the scoreboard. Did he even leave a chance to touch via portal? Insane job there from Techie. Really just rebounding from what happened. Honestly, rebounding from the giant slam dunk that was the Techie ult. What a response, Vicky.
Off the Punisher, I mean, what can Tap not do? 19 final hits following up off of the timing on the slight delay of Blur coming in with the Eye of Agamotto too. What is this bracket looking to be? Because Teki now taking this round could very carefully set us up with the script writers working even longer in overtime for day number 2 of this playoffs.
Right down the stairs and just throw them away. They mean nothing at this point. We have 8 seeds taking out both 1 seeds. We have 2 seeds now on the ropes for the first map of domination all together in boot camp for the first time. Both these teams, friends, ready to go, locked and loaded. One team is an absolute dream. They said yesterday we didn't even expect to win, Teki said with Tap on the interview. And here they go. They can win map 1, Vicky, as they open up potentially with this Kraken impact.
If you're going to be able to have sets like that, Tap, got to have way more faith at the same time. Crimzo now just trying to control the space from the front lines. Kurova does have that Adam Warlock ultimate ready to go. You have to keep your eyes for this as Nectar's going to be able to come right back into the action.
Yeah, Kurova, what he did so good yesterday is he stayed alive in these fights again with that Born Again. They can come back later, even after the death for a few seconds here now, as we have Avery trying to go and get that elimination, but the Eternal Bond coming out, forcing that from Aramori. Is a great play there, but now Sentinels are going to need to win this fight. The point has not been claimed yet. Avery just seems to be staying alive forever. I mean, absolute madness as now overtime, closing time comes down, and Teki goes up. He goes down with the slam.
And when you have the clobbering time, you have all the time to react here. If you're Teki with the Grand Slam, the LeBron Magneto Meteor, and that's how you're able to find out these Cloak and Daggers and where they're going to be able to get positioned. Great wombo combo right there, too.
Ooh, we've got we have a Nectar cam. We did not have that yesterday. Nice to see what it looks like behind the Star-Lord mask there. Again, these player cams, so fun to see here. As we head in here into now what is 17% and building for Teki. And we've seen now, Vicky, that when they have their ults, they can win this fight quite easily and sometimes not using everything that they have. Opening up with the Wizard here and trying to get the Eye of Agamotto out. They can use Tap, but we're going to have now instead Star-Lord going out, trying to get some early picks. They do have Wolfles if they need to use it.
Sneaky. Nectar, though, was hiding behind that pillar, just waiting for Teki. Just keep moving all the way up. Utilizes that Star-Lord ult just to buy in some time and space, but that didn't force out any of those ultimates from tekixd. Even better when it comes to their ult economy before trying to come down, because the big problem right now has got to be Tap and enabling Tap with this Punisher and the final judgment. Eye of Agamotto coming in from the top here. It's found Nectar as Nectar goes out right afterwards, and then the restabilization with the Eternal Bond just to keep them back in this fight.
Yeah, here as we have the passives moving Avery now with the big, but Kurova behind the ramp gets the res off, but Brute is going to eliminate. Does not matter though, these teams, these players coming back here. We've seen the Zombie Cup before against Envy. We're seeing it again, but the team is cleaning it up here as Wolfos gets another elimination. I gotta say, Vicky, wasn't crazy about that legendary from Nectar. They had the cloak bubble to counter that, and they didn't need to use anything there, so a little bit of an awkward ult placement there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Nectar will have it again, at least coming into this next fight, because you know Star-Lord just gets that ultimate so quickly depending on the damage output. But for sure, Teki did not have to utilize any of those ultimates before trying to re-engage and just wait out for Nectar instead. They've at least gotten to almost 25% right now, with Sentinels sitting at 71%. And Sentinels do have 3 ultimates for this next engagement.
Now for the tough part for the underdogs here. They've got 30% and climbing, but the ultimates are going to be in favor for Sentinels here, so they're going to have to win this neutral fight into what could be ultimates from Sentinels, and it's going to open up with another legendary. Is there a cloak bubble to save? No, but they do have the Loki lanterns. Throw down with the cloak bubble. Teki, though, with the finish on the duelist. Huge pick at Avery there, taking down the Winter Soldier, and the momentum with it now as the team backing up, trying to get composure. Teki, though, he wants more. He's hungry. He's thirsty to get more limbs, Vicky.
And that's what Teki having these 3 ultimates, soon to be all 6, honestly, for this next engagement. The reclaim on the point, and that was just with Nectar using that legendary. Teki did not expend anything now coming right back in. They have to desperately contest.
That's where I like it, right? Because it just puts so much pressure there. And then you've got Teki, who with Magneto in the primary, it's like a laser, just connects every time to the target here. Kraken impact coming out to try to make that difference and that impact. And here goes the Meteor and Sentinels. They get the first map off Teki in a nail biter.
Couldn't contest, and I'm wondering here if they had used up that portal earlier, because they had a Doctor Strange to try to recontest at least onto that point there, but Sentinels just completely cutting them off in that choke tunnel.
Standing tall, the legacy is living on at least for another match. One step closer to Lantis. Rising deserves every part of this MVP. Again, I said this going into that first match there, Vicky. You know, Mantis, they don't always come with the crazy shiny stats, but hey, 9 eliminations, the team high, 15k damage, 20k healing. Rising insanity.
I was going to say Rising and Kurova with the 15,000 damage. Your eyes are watering when it comes to trying to deal with these backliners between Mantis and Adam Warlock. I feel like, though, even with the res comp being brought out, yes, we saw a lot of these re-engagements, but they really weren't as insane, especially on Domination, where you get to see it really pop off, as what we were seeing yesterday.
Man, we are just blessed out here. Seeing Avery, seeing Tap, or seeing, honestly, you know, yesterday with the Terror show, now it's Tap with 21 limbs. Again, they didn't ban those res comps, Vicky, because they felt confident in the cleanup job, and for the most part, they did it right, but just falling a bit short here for the final points. But my goodness, a valiant effort there. The good news is this is not best of 3, though. They've got a couple more maps to get things right. Typically, when you have longer matches, though, Vicky, you kind of give the edge to the team with more strategy. And we know Sentinels, very just coach-focused, disciplined. But Techie, they've continued to just upset and be those underdogs that it root for.
And it's a little bit easier, too, for a team that, you know, not a lot of people have their eyes on specifically. It's to prove a lot of the naysayers instead. And I feel like in a 1v1 neutral situation, they were doing fantastic against Sentinels. I feel like just the way that they were cycling through those ultimates, very similar to how we were able to talk about Nectar and that one legendary attempt on the high ground of that second round. But it was really Techie who were trying to figure out a way to use these ultimates, but were getting constantly shut down before they could even have the opportunity.
Yeah, that's a great call out. Crimzo does so much for that team. Not having Captain America, though, kind of the Techie show a bit there in those clutch eliminations. Those early picks that just set the stage. Actually, right here was a...
Don't get me excited there, Cozy. You know, Penny Parker usually being a really strong suit when it comes to holding forward and finding your defensive position. If you are on the defensive side, which is the side that Sentinels are going to be on this time around, are going to be able to protect the Emma for tekixd, while the target bans have not stopped banning that Magneto first again, as well as that Torch. And then on the other side, no Crimzo.
Yeah, I'm expecting maybe Sentinels, they ban Wolverine just because you're kind of having now Crimzo, who's so flexible and can do everything, but he's kind of forced to play more the thing. Techie's going to be playing Magneto. They handled it well, but that's maybe what we see in the difference there as the Flyers do go down on the opposite side. Rising, we've seen them make the enemy team just complete barbecues there with the Torch, and it looks like they're going to definitely go for Tap once again in that crazy Psylocke.
I mean, I don't blame them. After what we just saw from Tap 2, being on that Punisher and seeing the just massive amount of damage that was coming out of that final judgment, as we get to see the Psylocke focus for onto Tap, the Emma Frostband, though, onto the other side after they had just protected the Magneto.
Yeah, and sometimes, even though Emma is the main ban we've seen, you don't always have to ban her. And again, I have not seen Sentinels play a lot of Emma. It's always a good thing. She's so, you know, just absolute cracked in the Vanguard position there. But same exact top in there. Luna with the save, the ban. Can it change? Do they change things up? Maybe go with the res ban here. And yep, it's going to be the Mantis, the MVP, Rising. And they're going to try to shut down the triple res.
I don't blame them there, too. The damage output as well. Not going to target Kurova being on the Adam Warlock, because once you get Mantis out of there, it kind of falls apart as we get to see the last safe pick for Techie being on that Loki. I actually really like this. We got to see a lot coming out of the Loki at some points. It was really the ultimate usage, the way that they were able to utilize a lot of the times where they were trying to cycle through that Cloak and Dagger and Loki combination.
Yeah, that's a great point there. We saw that a lot yesterday. Some teams comfortable with giving the Vanguards away, sometimes just giving the Loki and the Luna. You can't have it all. And we're seeing way more, Vicky, just these duelist bans. These kind of go for their best players, the playmakers, the superstars, if you will. And it makes a lot of sense, right? You shut down a team's best weapon in the NFL. You're going to shut the team down. Same here in Rivals, as we've got our last bit of bans and picks here. And it's going to be the Luna ban now.
I like this, actually, because now you get to take away the 24 seconds of immortality that team would have, since they already saved the Loki. Usually you see the Loki and Luna Snow come out together for that strategy backline, but not going to be the case this time around for Techie specifically.
Ooh, a little call back to season 1. Rising used to main Tony Stark himself. Jarvis, get ready to clip, because he's crazy on the flyer. You can get rid of a couple flyers, but you can't get rid of them all. Rising swapping over to the Iron Man as we head into Spider Island for the second map of Convoy. This is Techie's pick. We've got Sentinels here going up against Techie for match 2.
Get to see the Preds down here from you guys in the chat. We still going all in. It looks like for Sentinels, 66% after the action we saw in that first map alone. Techie putting up a pretty good fight here. But moving on to Spider Islands, you talked about it perfectly, Cozy. This is the first time you and I get to cast over this specific map, which is great because I feel like I'm literally always playing on this map. So now seeing it from a different perspective where we get to cast over it is going to be fantastic.
Absolutely, I agree. As Avery, the flyer is locked and loaded. We've got Nectar on Wolverine. Crimzo popping over to Groot. Like that pick, but Tap. We've seen what Tap can do on Sidelock, and even Crazy on Wolverine, as well as we have what we thought. A little bit of what we see. We only have 2 Vanguards with Techie. Blur now going to the Strange late, as you saw the swap up there. And I like this. You're going to get a little Flyer v Flyer. The Battle of the Skies. Avery versus Rymazing.
Rymazing's got the double headset, by the way. Got one around his neck out here, one over his head, while Tap is trying to find an opportunity off to the side and try to get a quick little kidnap here. Misses out before trying to navigate away with the rest of his team. But that's going to be the playmaking ability that Tap is going to have being on this Wolverine.
Yeah, such fast charge up, and they're electing again, Sentinels. They're electing here to just put that pressure on Foley, not going with that triple Vanguard for the defensive side of things here. And right now, Rymazing already at 81%. Doesn't need that Gamma team up anymore as Air Mori gets the quick pick and people just charging up fast, showing aggression early here. In this part of the map, again, we have not seen it a ton, but I love the performance from both teams going right to the fight as Kurova gets another pick.
To catch these hands, Crimzo, we've seen what that Groot does yesterday. Crimzo doing Himzo things, and now about to have that Groot ultimate ready to go. Tap 2, also just wrapping around, making some adjustments after looking at the way that they were unable to really get that kidnapped and utilize that. Avery now taking to the skies with the Omega Hurricane as Rymazing gets protected. The maximum pulse, but it misses its mark.
Unfortunately, it's an all or nothing ult, and that point it was nothing as Nectar goes up. Nothing from the Hurricane as well, but there is that pressure and the support ults coming out there as we've got the Groot ult with Crimson getting together. The up, the down. Can he slam the rock and connect? He does not, and Techie doesn't often miss those, but Rymazing does clean up on Tap.
Now you see me, now you don't. It was the clone right there. Instead, nice Groot wall just to block out a bit of the Psionic Seduction. Instead, gets out of the line of sight just to keep the rest of the team alive with the Fate of Both Worlds, as you cannot activate that ultimate if you are within that 30-meter range of the Psionic Seduction. As Nectar slicing away on this Wolverine, does have that Wolverine Rage ready to go. Kurova, by the way, gets another pick up to Avery. Those Luna buffs are going crazy.
It's the strategist show right now. We're getting these insane picks and just staggers from the strategist. You're getting a little bit of momentum, but every single time it's one falling in the backline there, and that is what makes this team so great. Kurova, Aramori, the double duo, insanity.
Well, they got that good synergy IRL here too. Great vibes here from this team that is playing in person. Avery gonna be able to get that all over again though, using the Omega Hurricane. Even more impact though, as the maximum pulse was waited for. Used on Avery before you could even see that Omega Hurricane, before you could even see Tap with the final judgment. What are these shutdowns that we are currently seeing from Sentinels?
And Jarvis changed the weather, opened up the skies, and allowed the sun to peek through as they shut down Avery and the Omega Hurricane here. Now going in here, Blur, not getting anything out of that Agamotto. They shut the eye, closed here. Techie putting that pressure on. They're going to look to get another stagger with that. They do have, however, the disappear right there, the invisible boundary from Ad to give them a little bit of space and push here. Aaron Mori to copy though. Techie looking for a connection, not getting the slam, Vicky, as now they push in.
He went in blind with that one, though. Got to give him props. Psionic Seduction now just going to force him right back into the line of sight, but they were ready for it as Aramori had the copy in the form of Kurova and the dance off with the Fate of Both Worlds. Rymazing with another one of these Iron Man ults, finding Avery, who's been the #1 target for Rymazing on shutting down.
Oh my gosh, even Happy would be happy with that one. I mean, you love to see Rymazing going back to Season 1. Good old Iron Man action. The guys played so much on him. Early streams, I was watching just what he could do in that mobility. Again, he sounds like a blender flying. That's the only downside. But bam, we've got the group hug. That was not asked for permission, as Tap is now going to open up the final judgment here, and he's asking not to peek. Let's see if they respond here, and they get the dance off it.
Avery needs to go hard, though, with this last stand right now. Already has it ready to go. Finds Amazing. That's a first pick in favor for Techie here. And there's that Berserker Rage before trying to back away. But these group walls have been detrimental. You can't get back to your team. You're cut off as Crimzo is going to be able to get that. But two of them go down. Crimzo meets him back in the spawn room. And some signs of life from Techie without using everything in their pocket with this ult economy that they currently have.
Yeah, we've got an overtime situation here. We saw this yesterday. We would have Avery start to pop off after Tap got the initial steam rolling here. And wow, just like that, it looked hopeless for Techie on the point one. They make that into an absolute opportunity and secured point one with ease there at the end.
The type of mental boom recovery that it takes to have three of your ultimates counter to then immediately turn things around, see that Gru ult, and then have Tap open the floor with that final judgment is huge. Especially making that comeback right now as the Sonic Seduction comes in. Aramori does have that copy, though. It's going to be able to have the dance up once again with Korova off the fate of both worlds as Korova's about to approach their own respective ultimate. Amazing now comes back around, has that Iron Man ult. The Eye of Agamotto, though, as the maximum pulse comes in, misses out, though, on Blur, and misses out on the Invisible Woman from Wolfles. Now Tap safely outside the line of sight of Sentinels inside that invisible boundary. Now wraps up into a Tap sandwich with this final judgment and clears the entirety of Sentinels.
My goodness. I mean, dropping the beat and absolutely emptying the clips. Every bullet said, I told you not to peek, and they did so. You know, I think Amazing, I thought maybe he would switch here. That was a great response to the storm, but Avery adapting over quickly to Logan and making it tough here for Sentinels here to hold strong. But they're doing fine. There's a minute and 20 seconds left after that first point hold and defense that they showed. They did 5 minutes against Envy yesterday here as they do have that Gru ult ready to combine. They can also go with the Berserker Rampage here. Again, he is the backup. Techie goes up. He slams down and no connection yet again in the kidnap.
Oh no, he's 5 HP. Tries to heal him, trying to get him back in time. But even with Crimzo and the group hug, Korova's right there to help and save them. Amazing with the MVP. Jarvis, clip that. I know you wanted to say it, Cozy. Amazing coming in with the way that he's found these incredible picks off the Iron Man ult.
Jarvis is not going to have enough RAM memory to have all these clips together. An absolute sensational hit there with the Groot ult combined there with Crimzo. You love to see it. We saw that yesterday. 100 Thieves did that with Terra and the show with Punisher. But this time, all you need is the action from the skies. The man, the myth, Amazing.
If it isn't the Mantis, it's taken to the skies on this Iron Man instead. Ad coming into this fight with the rest of tekixd will have that God of Mischief to try to copy out Wolfles and this invisible boundary, but losing out on Avery first is big. But now you have less than 10 seconds on the clock. They have to keep Tap alive as he melts down with the final judgment through these Groot walls.
Yeah, we've seen now, we've got Aramoris, they've got the show on Tap, trying to get something rolling, destroy the environment, but look at Amazing just flying around, and honestly, great distraction. Even though he went down late, he was able to take the majority of that pressure from the final judgment as we now have Groot pushing in, and again, we just saw this with point one. Are they going to be able to get the connection here? Sentinels doing a great job bending. They haven't broke so far. Amazing, though, about to come back with that ult. Jarvis is locked and loaded as you've got the maximum pulse ready, but no, it's the Eye of Agamotto getting a whole team.
And Wolf was holding onto this invisible boundary too, waiting out the maximum pulse instead with Amazing not finding it shot. tekixd with no time left on the clock are able to get to that second checkpoint.
Oh my gosh, the eye. It didn't just open, it annihilated there. Beautiful job again from Techie. They just love it when it's full maximum, not pulse, but stress against them. They've been able to clutch it both times in overtime. And then look at that, Avery stalking the prey, ready for the kidnap.
Well, that Diamond 2 pulling out the Crystal, just going to be able to boost up that beam from the Emma Frost. Instead, just tries to find one kidnap here. Just a little crumb out of line as Nectar gets protected with the Magneto Bubble. Trying to get into position once again as Avery tries to be the initiator, but then gets shut down once again by Amazing, who's been this problem in the sky. The verticality that this map provides as Techie now looks for a target, tries to land its mark there with the meteor, does not find it because you have the command grab coming in from the Emma Frost in the diamond form.
Executioner coming out. They do eliminate Techie before that trade. However, right now, the numbers are slightly in favor. Now, not for Sentinels as the sky and the battle commences. You have Avery taking down Amazing, but Nectar trade huge pick there with the kidnap. My gosh, beautiful there from Nectar.
And that was with them being able to re-engage after Tap had used that final judgment. Your powers are mine here from the other side to try to see if you can get that copy unlocked. And it's going to be the dance off from Aramori. That's going to be the fate of both worlds. The meteor now coming up to the skies instead as Blur gets caught in the line of fight. Techi's going to be able to find that problem. And while Tap gets the trade off the Amazing, they're wrapping around in overtime and they can't get off the point.
Feeling like a match 7 in the grand finals, but it's only game 2 as they're pushing forward. We've seen this point after point, and now Sentinels not able to touch. Yes, they get there barely making it to touch, but no, it's not enough. And just like that, Techie gets to the 3rd point. Insanity.
Time to switch things
With
up.
always no time, by the way, for the first checkpoint when they almost got fully held, for the second checkpoint when they were still holding on to that invisible boundary, and of course here for that 3rd checkpoint too. We talk about ult utility and the way that you can cycle through these ultimates with tekixd and the way that they timed it for that first map. Well, guess what? Right here, we got to see Brute hold on to that Psionic Seduction to the very end, clear out the team with some help with the rest of Techie. And that was a great push.
Yeah, everybody on the team just having the defibrillator ready to go for Techie. It's just crazy. They come back to life over and over, just connecting at the right time possible. And we actually saw that in the domination that they won too, that they were able to use just insane ult synergy together. Remember, guys, this is a team that nobody knew. The players unknown versus who has been regarded as one of the best teams, if not the best team in Rivals for a long time, a year plus. The winners of the Alpha, they came close in the beta to win the championship. Your MRC Season 1 winners in Sentinels.
Anything can happen, especially when you have to face off against one of your scrim partners in the official bracket. This time around, though, script is flipped. Sentinel's going to be able to come out on the attack, seeing what Techie's going to be able to provide. Remember that they do not have Luna. Luna is banned against them. So that's what you can currently see Ad being on this Loki. You need to put up some more numbers.
Yeah, and we saw here on the defense from Sentinels last time, they didn't go with the triple Vanguard. Going into it, Techie's also not going to... Oh, actually, they are going to do it, my bad, with this Strange, Emma, and Thing. Love that, and it just gives them another chance to hold strong here. Techie with a lot of momentum. They've got to finish and hold strong as they push forward here. Things happening fast as Brute's going right for the KO, but again, it's the strategist show. Vicky taking down Tap.
That Luna Snow damage buff, I'm saying, it feels like you're getting sniped from the skies if you're trying to contest and move around. And Tap has been a victim to Korova and that damage output, trying to dance these group walls once again. And that have also just been able to allow Sentinels to have so much more space, while Raimazy continues to be a terror in the skies.
You can hear the AC/DC blasting in the background as Raimazy continues to rock and roll there with Iron Man and just holding strong and getting that offense push here. I mean, just absolute great job. They've got to look out now. Tap coming out. Punisher here soon. The team getting back together for another hold.
Breaking the terrain. They hear the portal coming in for the quick re-engagement, though, but they don't have ultimate to work off of unless Wolfos tries to get this invisible boundary even faster. But that's going to be scary when you know Raimazy's on the scout, trying to hide behind the top of the building to unleash the maximum pulse to try to call it out. But beautiful, and taking over the other Loki clone from Ad. Great timing here. You get the copy on top of it. You get the invisible boundary as Loki gets that ult so quickly. And now we have the survival of the fittest with both teams now utilizing both strategists ult, 2 invisible boundaries on top of it. Everyone's surviving.
They don't call it the God of Mischief for nothing, and that was the perfect display of just that, as unfortunately Techie goes up, does not slam down, and another eye here coming from Avery in the follow-up, but Crimzo showing why Sentinels, they don't need just one duels to do the job. They're the Avengers coming together, assembling now as Raimazy gets 1, now 2, but Tap trading as they push forward.
Still being able to find those 2 here as Tap is going to have to back away, and time as Sentinels now clear up enough of this space, but the re-engagement could come out from Techie, trying to waste way more of this time.
Yeah, they do have Final Judgment. They're going to be able to come out with if they want to. They're going to reset, though, it looks like, and reload here quite literally with Tap. As he... Oh, nope, he is tapping the trigger down and getting those bullets out. Here comes Final Judgment. They do have... Oh, they've got the emerald to follow with it. They don't have any stretches to keep them up. They're just trying to get the protection in there with Blur. Great use of the shield, but even better, not peeking from Sentinels as they stay alive through it.
They really needed to have that Psionic Seduction, though, to land immediately on those strategists, so that way those ultimates would not be online, so that way they could keep enabling Tap in that case. While Tap comes in and still finds Nectar, the follow-up doesn't come afterwards with the rest of Techie, thanks to the sustainability that we saw from Aramori and that God of Mischief copying the fate of both worlds.
Raimazy's so sneaky with those ultimates, Vicky, but they keep answering the call, but Crimzo, he rooted them in place and their fate for this first point.
Get it going here. Sentinels already moving all the way up, and they have a lot more in their time bank after getting that first checkpoint in comparison to what we saw from tekixd. Wolf's, at least with this re-engagement, will have the invisible boundary, could try to help enable Avery, who's also close to that Wolverine ultimate here too. Amazing, though, has been such a problem, and this is such a good map to help enable Amazing. You could tell, bringing out the Iron Man again, you said, giving us a little bit of that deja vu. Dance to the Butterflies, by the way, after Nectar being on this side lock, having that ready to go, just try to split some more of that attention from tekixd's backline.
Great group up there from the team, being able to survive the Dance of the Butterflies there, as the overdrive is now going to be on cooldown for Amazing. And yeah, you make a great point there. Amazing just bringing so much pressure from the skies that allows Nectar to do their job as well. Kurova has the dance ready to go. They can respond if needed. You can't lose anybody early here now, as Teki with the defense as well. They've got the entire defense ready to roll here as they're on the offense, and the Agamotto comes out yet again from Blur. Teki goes up with the slam and down with all the purple might on Avery.
Headshot, dinking him right on top of the head. Meanwhile, Amazing still gets the kill, still gets the KO onto Wolfos from that far away. Yes, they get the trade here. Sentinels, though, have the high ground. They have the upper end advantage, considering that Wolfos have gone down after just using that invisible boundary.
Insanity there from Amazing at the last pick there, and great job for the team sweeping up the finish. Crimso yet again's got this ult again. If it's not one, it's the other, and he's looking to yell to them, you know what, Vicky, I am Groot, as he gets them all together for the ult that they can combine with just about anything on their team now. Great poke damage and sustain. Now we have Teki pushing forward here, Avery ready, as we've got Loki yelling from the sky, and the ult coming out, but they may not need it.
Oh, Avery going down right there was big. Tap was getting overzealous, was ready to unleash that final judgment, but it's just a reset as he holds forward into the front lines of Sentinels, because now they have really this next corner to really control. And look at Crimso and that positioning from Teki too. Crimso's got that group wall ready to go, as well as the ultimate.
Oh, my favorite duelist, Luna Snow, just crazy. Kurova just absolute popping off in the Elim feed here. Again, they do have the final judgment. There's 2 minutes and 50 seconds. You know, obviously, Teki took every bit of that timer here.
No.
Nice little assassination from Nectar there, and the pressure in the back line, making it a graveyard. But the final judgment coming out, the swords dancing. Right now, Loki just trying to find space and add, trying to stay alive. Does so, though. And Vicky, that's huge, because 99% now goes down.
Oh, but then you have the group hug, the deadly group hug from Crimso, just wipes out the rest of Teki, even surviving just through the onset of damage and pressure from this Psylocke isn't going to help you out when you have to worry about Groot in the front line.
I am Groot, and you are not making it out. Beautiful job there from Crimso. And again, they have everything they need to push forward now. Here's Magneto going up. Teki trying to slam it down. They have Amazing to follow, and he gets a slam on Avery. They're going to follow it up with the maximum pulse. Here it is. Pulse charge activated. Bam, with the double.
Every single output right now from Sentinels. Yes, the Eye of Agamotto comes in, but the output that we are seeing from Sentinels with these ultimates between Amazing following up with Teki getting the Grand Slam, Avery, the desperate measures with this Omega Hurricane, but you're just falling down here. They're trying to stall for as long as possible, and Sentinels are just walking the dog.
They all have their umbrellas. Those Avery ults aren't doing much for them with that storm that has come out now, as Amazing's just burning down Doctor Strange in the sky, applying that constant pressure as he looks not under pressure at all there in the camp. Gets one, now two, as they look to close out. Only a minute, 20 seconds. Great stall effort here from Teki as the cleanup is happening. One now goes two. Only one left is going to be that Emma. The wall's going to come out. Crimson trying to get the zone out. Vicky, no, now two on the point. Kurova's the dance is now gone here. Amazing, though, with another maximum ult. You've got the Groot ult. They combined it.
Oh, the fact that they keep trying to stall for as long as possible, despite Sentinels getting all these picks. You can't touch at the last second, as Avery was just a shy too short here. Sentinels, they take it all the way home, and they have extra time in their own time bank.
Yeah, it's a minute 59 to 1 minute. You just know Avery was shouting what I always do in my own matches. Like, I was on the board. I was on it.
Oh, yeah.
Down did not count. I swear I say that all the time in this game. Great job, though. Honestly, though, Teki burning a lot of clock there. It could have been a lot worse. That last fight was sustained well. If Avery was a centimeter more, it could have gone the distance.
I agree. I would love to hear what those comms sounded like from tekixd, because you saw the way that they broke their neck to focus on Rymazing. But for that second checkpoint, you know, with Rymazing flying around, being sneaky, hiding between the trees, hiding around the rooftops, that he's a problem. And you know, they were all looking for him. They got the Invisible Woman getting the final hit on the pool, and that was the way that they got that finishing blow. Combine that with the way that they were trying to stall for as long as possible, I know that the vibes are crazy.
We saw it yesterday from Mello, but we might see cheaper Town Hall. Has Tap had enough? No, he's going to go to Punisher. He floated Iron Fist, just floated it. Maybe, you know, get that auto tracking on the Iron Man up in the sky. But no, Rymazing going over to that Ultron. We've seen him play this very well. Interesting use here. I like it, though, for what they're trying to get accomplished in overtime here. Again, it's just one team. Techie now on the offense. They're going to make their mark, see how far they can push this thing with 1 minute on the clock, making every single pixel matter of these 60 seconds.
34,000 damage, by the way, in favor for Rymazing, and the damage output that we're currently seeing. Tap nearly right there, going over to the Bucky. All right, we've been seeing a lot more Bucky after the action that we saw yesterday. Always excited to see the change up as the tournament goes on. But Crimzo as well, being on the Groot on this map specifically in these tighter corridors, especially before this first checkpoint, it's so brutal.
Yeah, it's always the best player going on Bucky because the carry potential is there. They want to put the team on their back, and Tap can do just that as they're now pushing forward here. Ults are charging Tap now, trying to get that grab to get the opening pick for the team. That opens up things massively, especially in case of the Vanguard. Can he get the hit? No, the Groot walls and the Magneto. That's going to be tough to go through. Vicky Nectar in the backline, making it hell for those strategists just trying to stay alive. Clone pickoff's nice as well. Techie now staying alive with the Wolverine. Vicky, this is a lot of pressure.
Well, Techie trying to get right back to the rest of the team, while Avery now comes wrapped around the Groot walls. These Groot walls have just completely bought so much space. We are Groot following up as Blur tries to dip that. They do find Aramori and Koro for the backline in shambles, really only leaving Rymazing, who does have that extermination, but is going to have to save it for this next engagement. With no time left, though, overtime ticking away. Techie clear out Sentinels for this first point.
We are in borrowed time now. Who's going to cash in? And already a big W from Techie, taking 60 seconds, or as we have seen here in that overtime, it doesn't matter if they get that first point, because again, the time it's still ticking. That yellow bar going down. They can't step off, but they also have to step up here against Sentinels. Nice job, Sentinels, being patient, stepping back just a little bit, believing in their team, Vicky, to be able to get this far as well. But again, 2 minutes is going to be the exact same amount of time to get to this position.
Placed properly right now, Crimson can just force everybody off the point with the group hug, the invisible boundary, staying alive, waiting for the opportunity to like track Crimzo, and that ultimate slight stun as Corova keeps Crimzo alive. Fate of both worlds online for the Luna as Rymazing now comes in with the extermination. They try to deny that away from Tap as again it goes here. Tries to get the pick, gets it off with Techie and gets another reset.
Being able to feast off these clones with a great swap there, but Nectar is going to get the end of the slice of the dance of the butterflies. Beauty there as Rymazing cleans up Wolfos. The Kraken impact was making the impact here on point one, but they're able to now put a stop a bit more here. But Sentinels falling down one after one. Only 4 remain. This is going to be racing close. Look at the yellow line. The overtime push to the absolute limit. Crimzo eliminating Blur. It's trade for trade, blow for blow, Vicky.
Literally that overtime timing, taking away. It's just a crumb. I am Groot, the follow-up, trying to get another play going. Crimzo gets shut down. Avery wipes the floor here. Techie with the desperate swap over to the Venom, but tekixd as a team have way more of an advantage with the spawn room doors being right behind them in that fight.
An incredible effort here from Techie. You want to be legends, you make them here in overtime on the biggest stage, and they're doing it just like that. Rymazing going over now to Iron Man, trying to get a maximum pulse to end it in one shot here, but this is already such a huge W for Techie. Now they just need to play solid together here and see how much farther they can push this thing.
Oh, look, Rymazing has that ultimate built up from the Iron Man right now. Maximum pulse going to be something important, while Crimzo still continuously puts up these group walls. Rymazing waiting to get into position, but they lose on Aramori first again. That's with Tap making the swap over to the Iron Fist, but Crimzo quickly dealt with it.
Oh, there's the... Oh, there from the Iron Man. Rymazing showing what he's done the full game, but right now they're still able to push this. They're about to get to point 2, which is insane. Sentinels finally get the stop, Vicky, but it's not before an absolute valiant effort from Techie.
They definitely got a lot of extra credit right there. It took a little bit there, and I got a little scared also seeing Aramori going down first again, but the communication, they're hanging out in person. The comms were there, the turnaround to deal with the Iron Fist, but I have to give tekixd credit where they made some swaps even in the middle of that overtime, still staggering in without giving up any of that space to deal with the problem of Nectar, because it's very easy to focus on Rising in the skies, very cheeky in the way that you could try to position yourself to get out of the line of sight and try to get more of these sneaky ults, but Nectar was a problem on this Psylocke and consistently was dismantling the backline.
Yeah, I could have said it better. Great job there. And again, Tap just says, hey, I got it, guys. I'm going to go 1v9 here, 40k damage. But can I point out just one number that's jumping out to me? 75k healing from Kurova there on Luna Snow. The healing output right now from Sentinels is sensational, but it doesn't matter. They're still able to slice and dice their way through there. Looking at it here, 12 eliminations, though, compared to Crimso 6 with tekixd. You definitely want that back. tekixd was huge in that domination win, but you can't be eliminated 12 times here. It's been rough, but I mean, if you look at the other side, my gosh.
Nectar, you're insane, by the way. 22 final hits. The follow-up potential between Nectar and Rising, like, you're going to break your neck. You have one eye looking to the skies because of Rising. You have another eye looking behind you because you don't feel safe whatsoever with the Psylocke. It's a lot of pressure coming in from Sentinels that they're really covering these different pieces that are forcing tekixd to look behind them and in front of them at the same time.
Yeah, if you're tekixd, you're just trying to stall as much as possible here, and you have to play near perfect if you're Sentinels, like we've seen them do before here. Rising taking towards the skies here, going down on the stretch. So immediately Nectar and Rising trying to get that early pick on the back line and causing the whole team to go backwards. Great healing and sustain, though, from the side of tekixd, and the kidnap there. Nectar's going to go down early, potentially stays alive, though. Great job with the dash and the escape, but tekixd trading with Blur. Long walk back, Vicky, from the spawn.
Kurova's always there just to get your back. The best insurance policy you could sign up for is the Kurova insurance policy. And currently with Rising just taser beaming right through from the high ground. The maximum pause to be the nail in the coffin to find Brute. Literally pinching them all in this corner while Sentinels just walk the dog off this payload.
Yeah, but they've got to stagger so well with their ultimates here because, again, there's only 60 seconds remaining, right? They have to go a long way. They have to win at least two more fights. The portal comes out to make it at least 3 now as they're pushing in immediately. Can't use everything in the tank, Vicky.
And Wolfos is the first one to use the invisible boundary. They'll be able to cycle that together with the Loki having the invisible boundary from Ad, but it's not the same thing as that Luna, Snow, and Loki combo that we've seen before. Way more survivability. Yes, Crimson uses that group hug, but this is what we're talking about. The immediate counter from Ad, and now they've just used both of their strategy ults while Aramori still has that Loki ult that you do the slam dunk onto Avery and Ad, who are stuck inside the pool room over to the side, and it's a meltdown now from Sentinels.
The alley-oop from the stratosphere. That's exactly what you needed from tekixd there, and they got the job done to get the first point. But job's not finished. Overtime. You would think this is it. You would think this is to be eliminated. No, this is just match 2, Vicky. Rising has got the maximum pulse. Aramori has got the dance floor to throw the beat down here, and then everyone's going to follow after. But if you look at the ult comparisons, Tap, Avery, that's all you need to get team wipes.
Oh, is able to get to the health back. All right. Some pressure coming into the skies as Rising's forced to back away. As you mentioned, has that ultimate ready to go. Gonna be able to boost, by the way, into that beam from the M across to deal a good amount more damage, especially in this overtime phase. This is where everything's on the table, but you've lost out on Ad first, only leaving Wolfos out here with the invisible boundary.
Massive pick and stagger as we've got Berserker Rage going up and down and no connection on top of the invisible boundary. Tap the only one left with the Kraken impact, trying to get Rising down as they're throwing his body all over the map, but that Iron Suit protecting him well with the 1-2 pop, and the Jarvis another clip heading their way as they get yet another fight. Not using Rising in Crimso's ult. That's huge, Vicky.
The way that Brute tries to focus in, Wolfos tries to focus on Rising. The pull, the choke slam, and then Kurova coming in as the dancing Luna Snow with the fate of both worlds is keeping Rising alive. Literally the problem that tekixd is trying to focus on.
Rising and Sentinels, they held for 5 minutes. The team's great under pressure, but tekixd is showing that they're great when they're down and backs against the walls as well. There's only a sliver left. Nobody can leave the point. They have to have somebody making sure they're on point now as Rising trying to escape from the skies, getting that early poke damage, has the maximum pulse. They know it. Every ult ready online for the team. And the group up that nobody wants to be a part of from Groot. Oh,
Oh my.
Amazing! Putting Jarvis out of business. Friday is now activated.
Getting away with murder for free? For free, we're really seeing this out here. Amazing. Got away with it all on the Iron Man with these insane ults while Nectar cleans up the rest of business onto Team Techie.
Just absolute. I mean, everybody knew that ult was coming, right? And they saw it and they went for it. But guess what? Like I said, Crimso said group up and nobody was able to say no. They all got together, and the beautiful placement of that maximum pulse, a little bit to the left of the group up, they got out of that entanglement, Vicky, and then bam, met with swift flash of justice.
That was beautiful. Chef's kiss. By the way, 90,000 heat. Are you okay, Corova? Like, what? And the damage output took from Arrow Morgan to match that with Corova being on the Luna after we saw Corova do in the feed.
The stat display here is impeccable. 25 on both final hits, 53k from Amazing, the 150,000 healing from one team, but the bottom team almost matching that as well with tekixd. Phenomenal play across the board from every single player. 18 final hits from Crimso. What is this? 120k damage block.
This is actually 120,000 damage is insane. I mean, overtime games, sometimes it's down to the wire. You sit down on the edge of your chair, but these are literally such insanely inflated stats to highlight how crazy it was of a game 2. You were saying it perfectly, Cozy. You would think that this was like the last game for both these teams to finally make it in with the intensity that everyone was playing at. Tap being on this Punisher, these group walls, which by the way, blocked out a lot of possible healing that we currently saw too. It was the attempt that was there, and they even got a few wipes, but Sentinels on their re-engage, Amazing being the problem. The way that Corova and Aramori could cycle through those strategy ults are just on another level.
And it's just, your heart hurts if you're a Techie fan because you could not have played that better. I mean, you absolutely played so well there. You did what was called from you. You had one of the, just a goat of an overtime push. And the fact that they matched that with the intensity is insane. Vicky, with the damage block and the healing, over 330,000 plus damage just negated completely right from the team. That's one as we've got the initial pick and bans.
Not so surprised here once again, although not trying to get that immediate target on the torch. It was on the Magneto. I think we saw that similarly actually with that last map. But this is another map that could actually allow you to play these vertical flyers once again. There's that Human Torch ban, but obviously it wasn't the torch only that was a problem. It was the Iron Man. Jarvis getting the chancleta and really laying it into them with the way that Iron Man was a problem. But don't know if we're going to be seeing that. We did see the attempt on the Ultron, like you mentioned at one point, where they didn't really find that success, but it is a different map and you do have a lot more cover to work with vertically.
I was going to say, I wonder what way they're going to go with. Again, you can't ban all the duelists, and we've seen that work for so many teams that have that flexibility. They go, once again, with the Caliente. I'm never going to do that again. They got the Human Torch ban, but that's great there. Psylocke going down. We're not going to see any of the tap show. Again, one of the best Psylocks to do it if you think Self is a demon on Black Panther. The inverse there would tap on Psylocke. Now, we've got the Psylocke ban once again. I think that was a good one there because Nectar did a great job with so much constant backline pressure.
Hey, you know, that wasn't forever, by the way. And I do like the priority and saving the Luna Snow. Se caliente, you know, it gets a little chilly in here with the Luna Snow. You know, it was still good. But you can also tell right now with the way that tekixd have now prioritized banning that Loki, we won't be able to see those elongated resets that we saw from Sentinels in our last map where we did have the Loki and the Luna Snow available. It's actually off the table from both sides now as the Loki is the last one banned.
Yep, yeah, Coachella's on the table, but not 24 seconds of it. I think that's definitely going to be good for both these teams that really took it down to the wire here. And it always seems like when it's just the last on the line, it comes down to Central Park here in New York. Again, no Flyers to be able to get the job done here. And the teams are locking in. Don't get baited by Amazing. He did this last time. As much as I would like to see Gonshu at play, I don't think we'll see it, even though he was an absolute god on the hero.
I would get excited. You know, they are playing on the latest patch that made some balance changes out here. Moon Knight getting a little blessing from Khonshu himself as we move on to Central Park for map number 3.
I mean, if Brute can put up 41k damage again as Emma, they have a good chance to win. Only 6 eliminations there, and the team with the cleanup job on the other side. But this, again, you just said it. Iron Man, he's going to feast here with all these rooftops, the poke-ins, the poke-outs. I expect, honestly, it works so well. Why not just run it back as 63% in favor of Sentinels?
I think we had 66% beforehand. They still see some signs of life from Techie. I do agree with you. I feel like, you know, it worked out. Yeah, we're seeing it. It worked out already. Why not at this point? Also, like, there was no check onto Rymazing from tekixd. We saw the Punisher, but now this time, they've changed things up. It's the Hella from Tap and Avery on the Punisher instead.
We saw this exactly against FlyQuest and Domination. Remember, Avery got the MVP, popped off. They swapped roles, double hit scan to take care of the Flyers. I like the change up here from Techie as now they're getting comfortable in their roles here. Right, Mason, though, with the constant pressure, trying to just get some healing there with the constant AoE spell damage there from Rymazing and Iron Man now into the just an absolute poke demon here in the skies. As right now, it is just a great defensive effort, but we're trying to get that pressure in immediately from Techie.
Oh, Nectar trying to get a little cheeky out here over to the other side. Some support as well, just to allow Nectar to still keep getting pretty aggressive. Gets right back to the safety of the rest of his team here, while tekixd, with having that Cloak and Dagger ult, is going to allow him to open things up with the Fated Bolt, or rather with the Eternal Bond.
And we're going away from Jarvis now. We're on to Friday as Maximum Pulse is going down for the connection, but nothing from it. They do survive the flash, the final flash there from Vegeta, as now they're trying to move forward, getting that pressure on. You got the dance floor out for Kurova. Only 12 seconds. Judge, Jury, Avery. Vicky, can they get the wipe?
I mean, with the Eternal Bond not going away after getting the Grand Slam miss here, Avery now moves up, forces Sentinels to back away, but I like this is from Sentinels. They were just waiting this out. Yes, they get these 2 points right now on the point before the re-engagement comes in, and it's that dance-off as well. Mori coming in with the Eternal Bond, and then completely gets the wipe as Rymazing once again, a terror in the skies.
He's amazing. Just insane 4 now. Make it look at, he knows it's the still, and he's got a little smile. Saw it down there on the face. Love seeing a little emotion there. But again, just great sustain, Vicky. So much heading towards them. We see often teams get pushed in that back room, and then it's the curtain call, but they were able to fight right back with the Eternal Bond from Aaron Mori and the great placements of ult.
Look at Rymazing's camera, by the way. He has got like a little side grin going on right there, too. Nectar, again, no emotion, just locked in, while Tap does have that Goddess of Death. Maximum Pulse, though, finding Avery, taking care of one of the problems that could deal with Rymazing, while at the same time just deletes and puts Tap in the microwave. No Hella ult for you, as the group walls have been great in just keeping the rest of Sentinels alive and safe inside this corridor to try to counter kite away from the rest of Techie.
Yeah, and honestly, Techie was starting to get that cap. There's all the tracer from Sentinels, and oh, the crew want to block out the Eternal Bond. Now just try. Oh my goodness, Techie!
911, we've really witnessed the Grand Slam dunk when you have to isolate your only escape route. It's just an easy target for Techie to land that meteor.
Just absolute perfect slam dunk from LeBron there, as now Tap team trying to reset. Now only 58 seconds. This is where it looks like the team, the vets that have been here together for a year and multiple MRCs, MRIs, is playing as one unit, one boot camp here. Overdrive on now. We've got the team going out here as we've got everything coming out. They don't even need the old Mason with the 3. He's not just a genius billionaire. He's a walking nuke.
Someone tell Rymazing it's not a speedrun right here. Like, he is feasting, though. Techie, they have a family. And Rymazing's got the pulse, and he's about to completely terminate any opportunity of life from Techie. Takes to the skies. They did call up Rymazing, though. That's a big pick, because you know Rymazing was getting ready with the maximum pulse there. This gives an opportunity for tekixd to now move up.
Yeah, they got to push in fast there because Iron Man can get to the point very easily. They've got a lot up their sleeve too. Here comes the Eternal Bond, trying to get the eliminations here. Avery just focusing, trying to get Techie out of the fight first and getting everything on him. Maximum Pulse comes down, gets the connection on Avery with the trade, and now just slicing, dicing. Nectar knows they can feel the win. They can feel their ticket to China if they can get this hold and continue the pressure on the offensive side. But no, like we've seen before, Vicky, they get the point.
Everyone lined up. That one pick That one pick from Tap onto Amazing just allowed tekixd to get this point, to get this payload moving. Because without that one pick, you already know that that maximum pulse was about to have so much out of it. So now they get to move up here. They get a little bit of signs of life where they could take a bit of a break before trying to re-engage now. But Sentinels have so much coming into that next fight too.
If you are looking for heart, this is where you find it every single time tekixd backs against the walls. They just get the job done here. Minute and 56 now to go through the outside space as they push this round corner, and Crimso does have that ult ready. They can slam it with the Meteor M. Probably saving that though for the defensive side of things here as Amazing charges up, tries to get some poke damage and a little bit of space for the team.
On his way, he's just trying to add in some extra poke pressure here. Jumping right in though is going to be Blur on that hole, trying to bring everybody together though as the Grand Slam comes in to try to find the Eternal Bond, misses out. The with Nito as not going to be able to calculate where the exit route was going to be from that Cloak and Dagger ult right outside of the Eternal Bond. Here comes Amazing, waiting for the maximum pulse, tries to find the backline, and still with Wolfos trying to back away. They were all split up in the backline, and it still wasn't enough. Wolfos gets taken out, and now it's time for Nectar to shine.
He lay eyes on the shot caller here. Aramori in charge of ultimates, tracking, and teamwork there, doing a great job in showing it. I swear, is this Iron Man or War Machine? I'm a bit confused because it feels like we're getting non-stop elims here from Tony Stark, otherwise known as Amazing, the other alias here, as they get the pressure on. 50 seconds here, Vicky, to go a long way.
I'm gonna be excited, by the way. I really wanted him to actually come out into the game to be a tank. That'd be super hype. But you know what? Instead, it's just a different look of this Tony Stark. And now we have the final judgment instead coming in from Avery, trying to clear up some of that extra space. But then it's gonna be a dance-off. Instead, it's gonna be Aramori coming in with the Eternal Bond, trying to stay alive, but then gets shut down as Avery with that final judgment. At least got that one pick. The group walls have just been on fire as the Goddess of Death have their 1v1s.
Yeah, but it's Brew from the 40k of last match to the clutch of this one. They're able to at least try to get up this mountain here, but it's going to give time for Sentinels to reset here. Nectar just trying to stay alive. This is going to be a long stagger now. tekixd and Nectar have a long way back as the rest of Sentinels getting together here, but Karoba is going to drop the beat and potentially the win on this point 2 here. Crimso, he's got the entanglement well. We got Amazing ready to yell Jarvis. Let's see what happens.
Crimso getting stunned just temporarily with Blur being on this Hulk, and also the survivability with the World Breaker online here too. The dance coming in, trying to find its way, as that was the way that Crimso has the group hug. tekixd with the Meteor just does not miss. And going down here, Blur completely comes in with that Hulk ultimate. Corvo was already done with the dance off of the fate of both worlds, and tekixd, they're falling overtime, taking away as Sentinels force them off the point.
Jarvis play funeral music, because that was it. That was tough. I mean, obviously, tekixd now going on what is going to be the defense that will define a bit of their legacy here. A team backs against the wall. They did not expect to win yesterday, but man, they're showing that they can today, but they've got to stop. I mean, this is like Thanos, right? They've got to stop the Iron Man. Now, you know, a little sad story of the ending there for him in the movies, but I don't know if they can get the job done here. Insane, Vicky.
I mean, you know, cue up the Sound of Silence by Disturbed right now. Just having to play that when you're walking around with the Goddess of Death staring you down the barrel. Although I will have to say, Tap being on the Hela, having those impactful picks is what enabled tekixd to even get the progress that they had. Even going for those flanking routes to activate the Goddess of Death to get out of the line of sight of what we had seen from Nectar being on the Hela from the other side of the backline, harassing tekixd's backline specifically, was a great position for them.
14 eliminations. He's saying I am Iron Man, and the rest of the team saying I am dead. And is that what Kurova's playing? Is it down with the sickness there from Disturb? I thought so there with the dropping of the beats and the great plays. As listen, Crimson did this last time. He gets the emotes out whenever he's feeling confident and ready to go. And Groot showing the rainbow heavy.
The battle starts in 5.
Looking at these stats here, having a little bit of fun, getting some of these extra shield before coming out of the woodworks. And I'm wondering here, the fastball special, are we going to see? Okay, we're going to see a little bit of a swap. Oh, no, we are going to get, all right, tekixd's going to yeet the Wolverine over to the other side, while Amazing is going to continuously harass him in the skies.
Yeah, we got the pressure immediately from the beams, and my gosh, Nectar just taking the fight right to them here. Again, they get this point, they get this map, they get their ticket to China, folks. The first ever LAN history in the making for a team that's been it since the beginning of this game a year back now. Avery, though, not if anything he has to say about it. Flying up in the sky again, it's Peter Pan slicing, dicing. Amazing, though, gets their first pick. It's Avenger versus Avenger.
That's what happens when you have the Captain America and the Emma Frost too, but at least with Brute could try to choke slam Rymazing if you even get to Rymazing, because you're so busy having to completely negate all this pressure from the front line from Crimzo. Now Sentinels just take over the point for free, trying to punch their ticket in and making history for Marvel Rivals in the first land.
And spell Magneto without Techie, and I'm talking about the player. Great, huge poke, and just insane stagger portal coming in, though. Nectar going in as well. Techie with another trade in the neutral. Beautiful job and control there. Goodness, I mean, just impeccable effort from the entire team. They've got 2 minutes, 49 seconds. Let's make it now up to 5 minutes. This is insanity.
This is so much time, and you're still having to deal with Rymazing, who has the maximum pulse ready to go. Nectar trying to get a little sneaky. Look at the communication. Rymazing understanding the assignment before getting the follow-up. Oh, Blur saw him. That was like a horror game.
I feel like that always happens to me. The backline there is now taking down Techie early with the stagger. I mean, they got 4 minutes to burn to do so, but that's definitely the right way to start things here. Tap's got that Goddess of Death, but we are going to be able to respond to you. Techie, though, will be the one to defend that with this meteor in, but Crimzo opening right away with the group hog, throwing it down. We got the damage boost up.
Oh, my.
Throwing it down, and Friday's clipping it all, and he's going to be clipping their ticket to China here soon.
And the way the freeze came out too, there's only so much you could do if you're Wolfles in that situation. The follow-up is beautiful, and he still has the maximum pulse. Look at him creeping about, waiting for the opportunity to wrap around and utilize this.
A great job here. And then we've got the stalking from the skies, unleashing the airstrike here soon as he's preying on the opponent. But look at Tap. Look at Tap. Tap needs to go around this corner. He doesn't know. I think he sees Rymazing. He's going to go for the 1, the 2, but the magma will perfectly throw it down. The ultimate and sailing a double. It's Civil War out there taking down Captain America.
Nobody is safe. If Tap that just looked right around the corner right before that bubble had not come out in that time would have been big, as Techie saves the Iron Man, and now they get to walk up for free to take the point and the map.
Jarvis, pack our bags. We're going to China in the first ever LAN as Sentinels win 3-0 in a match against Techie, sunsetting the Cinderella story to the lower brackets and showcasing why they're one of the teams that deserve that spot in history.
At least that makes sense when it comes to the Preds out here from chat and from ourselves with the way that this bracket was shaping up to be with a clean 3-0. But Techie had put up a great fight, but that Iron Man was a problem, and they tried their best to try to counterpick it. Tap doing the absolute best that Tap could do, but look at the difference, the 20 final hits in comparison to Tap, who did their best with only 8.
I'm sure chat's sick of it by now, but we just got to finish it with I am Rymazing. 20 final hits, 20k damage, valiant effort. But yeah, the strategist play and the perfect, absolute executed protection there from Techie and the bubble around the ult, the great ults from Crimzo to boot. Perfect play from them. And again, it's all a celebration now for Sentinels as we say goodbye to the lower bracket of Techie. Valiant effort. Vicky, an insane match.
Just the numbers put up, whether it be Rymazing, Korova with all the healing output, just exchanging that together with Uramori, Techie, Crimzo with the amount of like damage blocked. Everyone on this team are just the most insane pieces to a chessboard.
Yeah, I mean, the team has played, they've executed so perfectly. They're coming off the reverse sweep that happened to them in the finals of group stage to then come with this effort, Vicky. I mean, this display as they've now gone through 2 matches with pure excellence.
Yeah, let's not forget that that was during the reverse sweep from Team Nemesis winning it over Sentinels to lead into this week. And currently, Sentinels are playing with a vengeance to try to prove everybody why they're at the top. Not only with a bunch of these different compositions highlighting flexibility, but the timing on these ultimates, Rymazing with these cheeky positioning, and then, of course, the communication of being able to play together.
Yeah, they just nailed this down like it was practice. But again, I saw them just having fun and hanging out in the boot camp today. They were just having a good time as a team together. And again, we're going to say this in the interview, but to be able to celebrate all in the same room, there's nothing like it. I guess the only thing would be LAN in China as we look at, of course, Rymazing, the amazing long time now, who I would consider a friend, getting an insane MVP.
And it wasn't even the first time out here, too. Yes, Kurova got the MVP from the second game, but Amazing had put in like 53,000 damage, 58 total elims with 25 final hits. Then matching that together into this very last map where you still have that verticality to work off of and still having the output that you did, only dying 4 times.
Yeah, and I mean, explain to me, man. We had Airmore yesterday, you today. Again, I was watching on Airmore's screen. They were doing makeup on you. You guys were just casual, cool, calm, collected, and now you're punching your ticket to China, man. How does the team feel? How is the energy in that room?
Oh, I feel like we're all like really, really close friends. It's like we're just like hanging out together, just having a great time. Like Airmore's like, I want to do someone's makeup, and I was like, I raise my hand, it'll be me. And we're just having an absolute blast.
I love the vibes, man. You guys look like you're having a good time. We saw the pictures. You're looking fabulous. I mean, why don't you walk us through? Because I was just saying it on the mic earlier. Like, you are the embodiment of Adam Warlock. When I think about Adam Warlock, man, you're the first person that obviously comes to mind. Like, you're just Timothy. So why don't you talk to us about the flexibility that your team has without revealing a little too much out here? The Iron Man, like, going unchecked, is that what influenced you guys to still stick to the Iron Man going into map 3?
I think Rye just realized that Iron Man's pretty good in this comp. Like, into their comp with kind of like a mirror, he's like, I have an itch thing. I can probably do like a lot of work here, especially with like the Loki man and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, I could do a lot here. But as far as like the Adam stuff goes, we know like some of the maps are really, really good. Some of the maps aren't that good. And we kind of like understand its weaknesses and its strengths, and we kind of play around that.
It was a callback to season 0. I remember watching a lot of Amazing on Iron Man back in the day, and it's cool to see him back on it. I've got to ask for this team, Kurova, what was the turning point, right? Because you've got the first MRC, right? And I know that was crazy for you guys. Then the MRI, then you just had the reverse sweep. When was it that you guys just like, you knew you would lock in and just be the team that you are? Everybody's going to go for the king, and you better not miss. And it's looking like people are missing here.
I don't think there was a specific point in time, but we definitely were starting to take practice like really, really seriously. We were trying to like show up on time. Gomez is screaming in the background, talking about J3. But yeah, like we were just having like really productive scrims, like really putting in the effort to work where we needed to, or taking criticism from each other, and just being like really open-minded as like friends and as teammates.
It's awesome, man. Go ahead, Vic.
Oh, no. I honestly, just wrapping up on that, I really like not only hearing you guys in the background, the banter and stuff like that, too, but you guys have punched your ticket into China. Sentinels is going to China.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling after that? Like, that's insane. You guys are about to make history. I mean, you guys have already made history, but you guys are there paving the path to continue on the Sentinels history timeline with Marvel Rivals.
Oh, it feels surreal. Like, we've been wanting to this for a very long time, and we're really, really happy to represent Sen going into China. I'm like really, really stoked about it. This is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, job's not finished. You got the upper bracket finals into the grand finals, but I know a lot of weight lifted off the shoulders for what this team can accomplish, right? This is one of those teams when you look at the heavy stack. I mean, Kurova, can you talk about yesterday and how insane that was? Just all the upsets. I mean, obviously, America in this region is just not what we predicted. But one thing I had pretty certain is you guys making it all the way through. But has this just been a gauntlet?
Oh, it totally has been. Like, all of my predictions were entirely off, except like the Thieves one. Like, I didn't expect like any of the losses to come through from NG from like group stages. Like, it's like everything's just like flipped upside down. Like, it's anybody's game. It's like whoever shows up for that day and plays well, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, man. And hey, if you guys go and you win it all, they've got to have a Sentinels journey on Adam Warlock, jersey on Adam Warlock for a skin. They've got to have something out there, buddy. But hey, I want to give you the floor to close it. Again, you're the first team from America to punch their ticket in. Huge grass, the coach, Grimzo, Amazing, Super Gomez, Nectar, all of them techie. Man, what do you have to say?
I think I would appreciate all of my teammates for being such like good teammates and like sticking through with the entire team and just like working through no matter what. Like, we've had a couple like moments where it was like troublesome with like mentality and stuff like that, and we always like rallied together and just like pushed through it no matter what. And then I want to shout out my family. I know they watch some of my games, and then my girlfriend as well.
Oh, beautiful, man. Just love it hearing from you. I appreciate you coming on. I also didn't know you were a giant, man. For the photos I've seen of you, man, you are one tall glass of water, buddy. So that's awesome to see. Can't wait to meet you, I guess, in person. So excited to see it, man. Go celebrate with the team. You guys are all together. Job's not finished, but enjoy this one.
Thank you.
All right,
Have a good